Imagine looking up at the night sky and instead of the pale, cratered moon you see today, you see a gigantic shimmering disco ball hanging above Earth, reflecting beams of light in every direction, filling the darkness with glimmers, sparkles, and sweeping rays of brightness like a nightclub that never sleeps, but stretched across the entire sky. The moon has always been humanity's cosmic companion, regulating tides, guiding travelers, inspiring poets, and anchoring our sense of time and rhythm. But what if, in some bizarre twist of cosmic design, it wasn't a gray, rocky satellite, but a polished mirror-surface disco ball, spinning gently and scattering sunlight across the Earth's surface in a dazzling display? The first and most obvious change would be the night sky. Instead of soft, pale moonlight that casts shadows and creates a calm ambience, we would experience wild streaks and flashes of light that dance across oceans, deserts, forests, and cities, creating a kaleidoscope of moving highlights. Nights would no longer be dim and romantic, but alive with chaotic patterns of shifting reflections, like Earth itself had been transformed into the inside of a giant cosmic dance floor. Depending on the angle of the moon, beams of light might concentrate on certain regions, creating natural spotlights that sweep across landscapes, startling animals and confusing human sleep cycles. Cities that used to enjoy starlit nights would instead live under constantly moving glitter patterns. Stargazing would become nearly impossible, because the bright reflections bouncing down from the moon would drown out the faint glow of the stars. Astronomers would struggle, their telescopes blinded by streaks of moving light, and the constellations that once guided sailors and inspired myths would fade behind a glare of our glittering lunar mirror. For wildlife, the consequences would be dramatic. Many animals depend on moonlight cues to migrate, hunt, or reproduce. Sea turtles, which hatch at night and instinctively crawl toward the faint natural glow of the horizon, will be utterly disoriented by the chaotic flashes from above. Birds that migrate by starlight would lose their navigational maps. Nocturnal predators like owls, foxes, and bats, who thrive in dim conditions, would instead be thrown into a dizzying dance of flickers and moving shadows, making hunting unpredictable and risky. Humans, too, would feel the difference in subtle but powerful ways. Our circadian rhythms, finely tuned to the natural cycles of sunlight and soft moonlight, will be disrupted by the unpredictable glints of lunar reflections. Sleep might become harder, especially in areas where the moon's beams sweep intensely across the ground. Curtains and blinds will become more essential than ever, and whole industries might rise around shielding people from the wild light show in the sky. On the flip side, imagine the cultural explosion. Humanity has always loved light, spectacle, and performance, and now the entire planet would have the ultimate built-in party accessory. Festivals will be organized around full moon nights, not to admire its glow, but to dance beneath the ever-shifting beams of light that rain down from it. Nightclubs and outdoor arenas could time their events to coincide with the most dazzling lunar reflections. The moon would become an endless source of artistic inspiration, a celestial mirror ball inspiring music, art, and fashion trends for centuries to come. From a scientific perspective, however, such a moon would pose many challenges. The real moon has a rocky surface that reflects only about 12% of the sunlight that hits it. That dim reflectivity is what gives us the soft, silvery glow at night. A disco ball moon, polished and faceted, might reflect 80 or 90% of the sunlight, meaning our nights would no longer truly be nights at all. The constant glow would bathe the Earth in bright, scattered light, washing out the natural cycle of darkness. Plants might even begin to photosynthesize at night under the constant scattering of light, confusing ecosystems and altering growth patterns. Farmers might see crops behaving unpredictably, blooming out of season, or growing too fast under the unnatural extended exposure. The tides, of course, would remain, since they depend on the moon's gravitational pull, not its appearance. But human culture tied to the visual moon, its phases, its waxing and waning, would be obliterated. The lunar calendar, still used in many cultures for festivals and religious observances, would lose its meaning. Instead of crescents and full moons, we'd only ever see the constantly glittering sphere, its mirrored facets bouncing sunlight no matter how it rotated. Eclipses would look wildly different too. Imagine a lunar eclipse where Earth's shadow falls across a mirrorball moon. Instead of the haunting blood-red glow we know, we would see fragmented, eerie shards of reddish light bouncing unpredictably off the mirrored surface, painting the ground below in strange, moving patterns. Solar eclipses would also change. When the moon passes in front of the sun, its reflective surface would scatter sunlight around the edges, creating dazzling halos rather than complete darkness. From space, the sight would be even more surreal. Astronauts orbiting Earth would look back to see not a pale, cratered orb but a blazing reflective sphere that could blind unshielded eyes. Space missions would need new protective measures to deal with the intense glare bouncing unpredictably off the moon. Satellites orbiting Earth might also be disrupted by the constant bursts of light, their sensors overwhelmed by glare, making astronomy and Earth observation more difficult. And yet, humans would adapt. We always do. Soon enough, the disco ball moon will become just another part of our world, something children grow up with and take for granted. Instead of fairy tales about a man in the moon, we tell stories of cosmic DJs spinning light across the heavens, or gods who turn the sky into a dance hall. Poets might write not about gentle moonlight, but about the dazzling glitter that makes lovers' faces shine under a million fragments of light. Photographers and artists would find endless inspiration in the patterns of lunar reflections, capturing surreal landscapes bathed in moving beams. And perhaps, in some way, the moon's new form would bring humanity closer together. With every person on Earth looking up at the same glittering sky, we might feel more connected, like we're all attending the same cosmic party. Of course, there would be critics. Some would long for the old moon, the quiet, pale satellite that guided humanity for millennia. They would argue that the disco ball moon is too loud, too chaotic, that it drowns out the peace of night and blinds us to the stars. But perhaps others would respond that life is about adaptation, about finding beauty in change, about dancing even when the music is unexpected. In the end, if the moon were a disco ball, Earth would be transformed into the universe's most dazzling stage, where light never rests, where shadows never sleep, and where every night feels like the beginning of a celebration.